All right, we'll start with the opening statement from Coach and then open up for questions.
Yeah, I thought pretty good start. Well, really good start on the defensive end, I thought. I thought our defensive intensity was great, which we wanted it to be. Kansas had played. It was a short turnaround for them, so that probably – not great. That's a difficult prep, I'm sure. And then they had to travel, and so we kind of wanted to come out and kind of set the tone early. Punch first is again a phrase that we use quite a bit. And so I thought we were really good defensively, obviously holding them scoreless for, 9 minutes, maybe even a hair more. But then at the same time, I didn't love what we were doing offensively because I thought we were turning them over and not converting those into as many points as we should have. And then I thought the same thing at halftime when they had 19 points. I thought we legitimately should have had probably 50-plus points. And just too many turnovers for us again. So that's the disappointing part. I didn't think we ever had any great offensive rhythm, maybe a little bit from time to time, but I thought Sydney Shaw was really good and made some shots. Jordan got to watch the ball go through the hoop, so I think she needed that game. JJ was a little frustrated, I think, there for a while, but then went from, I think, like no points to 16 in a very, very short period of time, which we know she can do. And then, really the scoring was just kind of filtered amongst everybody else. So we'll continue to work at it. Got to improve still on that offensive end, but I think we've held our last two opponents to 37 and 43, and so you're going to give yourself a great chance to win even when you're not clicking on all cylinders offensively if you can defend like that. So anyway, we'll take it. It's been a good little stretch here again at home with a couple of home wins, and now we got to figure it out on the road.
Coach, Samaya Nichols came into tonight as the Big 12's third leading scorer. You held her to 12 points and 9 turnovers. How much of a emphasis was that, focusing on her going into tonight?
Yeah, she was obviously the main emphasis for sure. I think she's extremely talented. I think she is absolutely one of the best players in this league. And really, she controls a lot of what they do. And so we just wanted to, as we normally do, though, be disruptive, take them out of some of their stuff. Brandon can coach. I've known him, coached against him for quite some time, and respect everything that he does. And if you're not careful, he can kind of start to pick you apart a little bit, and she's a big piece of that. So, it was just try to take her out of it as much as we could, but you don't want to lose all the other kids either. Really proud of our defensive effort on her.
Also, I believe a career high for Sydney Shaw tonight. She scored your all's first 8 points. How big was she tonight?
Yeah, she was really good. I've really liked her lately. I think she's focused at a different level than I've seen her since I've been here. We challenged her, and we have since she got here, and she would tell you the same thing defensively. But I thought even at Arizona, we as a group lost our way defensively, and so we wanted to challenge all of them, but Sydney even a little bit more because I think there was more to her. And she's a tough kid, and she can guard when she wants to and put up some resistance. And so I know it's the scoring that looks really good, but I'm probably even as proud or more proud of what she's been doing on the defensive end because I think she's capable of this offensively. I've known that. It's that she's taken her defense to another level that, again, I'm the most pleased with.
About the other Sydney.
Go ahead.
About the other Sydney. Seems like her impact goes well beyond the box score.
Yeah, it always does. But I think she's getting more comfortable, too, a little more. I thought she had some really good attacks off the dribble in space, got to the free throw line tonight. Probably needs to convert a little bit better when she gets there. But I like the aggressive offensive mindset from her from time to time. But she's an elite defender, and that's where you don't, she'll get steals and stuff and tips, but you don't probably always understand the impact she has because of how valuable she is on that end.
You mentioned your team's turnovers over the past couple of games. Any specific parts of the game? I'm sure you're willing to take a few in transition in return for pushing the ball, but are there places where you think, okay, we're not quite as good right now as we've been?
Yeah, there are a few good turnovers out there, not probably a ton in a coach's eye, but there are a few when you're trying to make a play. But I just thought a lot of them, a couple of them were like, we're trying to get all fancy with our passing, and that's ridiculous. We're driving into 2 or 3 people, so we're taking one too many dribbles. And so it's like, man, just take one and then get the ball out of your hands and reverse it. And so assists are too low and turnovers are too high still, and that's again my biggest gripe offensively, and at times why our field goal percentage isn't as good because we're not getting the best look that I think we're capable of getting on every possession. And so we've got to keep working at it, and I thought we kind of put a lot of attention on the offensive end this week after I thought we figured out a little bit better defensively after that Arizona loss. But again, we got to be a little bit better offensively for sure. We can't we're relying so much on our defense right now. There's going to come a game where we don't turn people over and don't get points off of those at the clip that we have here lately. And so we've got to be able to execute in the half court.
Coach, you forced 29 turnovers, had 36 points off, and even held Kansas at 38% on layups. And just how important is it, and like how much easier does it make it to the team whenever the defense is just firing like this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, it makes it easier for sure. And like I've talked about, I just want to convert it a little bit and let the offense kind of feed off of that even more when we get into the half court. But I think our resistance has been better. That's a term we've been using with our group because, you know, it was been too easy to get the ball in the paint against us, and we weren't guarding the ball and containing it at the same rate. Our post defense at times they were just getting too many easy touches. And so we've really, really tried to be cognizant of taking that away, taking a space away from teams, being a little more resistant on the ball to make it a little more difficult to get to spots. And, you know, and then I think we're pretty good. If we do that, obviously, I think we're even better because we can really wreak some havoc with what we do in the full court. But then at times we were like giving up really high percentages in the half court, and that's not good enough. You can still pressure and be really good in the half court, and we weren't doing that there for a few games.
What does it mean to you to be unbeaten on this floor this late in the season with only 3 home games remaining?
Yeah, no, we've got a great home identity. We feel really comfortable in here. I think our players feed off of it. You know, this game wasn't like the back and forth or Oklahoma State feel where it was just really, really loud several times. And I get it, the game didn't necessarily present that. But yeah, as I said, there's a comfortability of us playing in here. I don't know what our record here is in 2 years since I've been here, but I know it's probably pretty good at this point, you know. And but if you're going to do special things or you want a chance at winning a conference championship or getting these great seeds in the NCAA tournament, you have to win home games and then find a way to pick people off on the road. And thankfully, we've at least been able to win home games. And now we need to figure out how to pick a few more people off on the road.
Tears had her season high in minutes tonight, and you got her out there pretty early in the rotation against Oklahoma State as well. So has she shown you something new recently, or is it a matchup thing? And what's made her such a key part of the rotation recently?
Yeah, I mean, she's worked hard through it all. Wasn't an easy, you know, for her when she wasn't getting to play some. Yeah, I've liked her attitude. I think she's played a little bit harder. I think some of the resistance rebounding she can provide, so that was really kind of the idea. We play her at the 5 and then really as the 4, and there's some advantages when she's in at the 4. I mean, sometimes at the 5 too, but at the 4, and so it was just something we wanted to look at coming off that Arizona game, and she's practiced well and played fairly well as well.
You mentioned picking up a couple wins on the road. You get that opportunity next with 2 straight road games. Just what's the message to the team going on the road now?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. I didn't address it yet a whole lot, other than we know we're going on the road, but, you know, go play Houston on Saturday and then stay on the road to play a really, really good Baylor team on Tuesday. So, I mean, we got our hands full. We've lost the second game of both 5-game road trips so far this year. So we've had 3. This is the 3rd one. Both times we took these 5-game road trips, we won the first and lost the second. And so we've already talked about it a little bit early last week when we were off. We kind of did Coach Kellogg did his State of the Union kind of address with the team and where we're at. And that was one of the things that came up in it, was just to try to figure it out. What are we not doing? What do we need to be better with? What are we doing wrong? Whether it's coaches, are they getting bored? Are we losing, you know, focus? Is it not that? Is it something completely else? And so we're still kind of evaluating it, but we've talked about it. I think we have some ideas in place. They understand it, and it may just be that we haven't played very well. Like, it may not be any of those things. It may just be that we didn't play, but we've played quality teams the second night too, you know, when we did that.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, everybody.